Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared, and here we have the monthly knife package. I'm going to have everything linked down in the description. Basically, it's a subscription that you can sign up to if you want to get random monthly knives. Now, we're going to check out 2 tiers right now today, which would be the tier 2 and the Onyx Collector's Plan, which would be a more premium plan. This one comes from tier 2, which this is the Sog Terminus SJ4 slip joint. And it's really cool how they did this. So they have a stop pin that's on basically like spring tension on both sides. Let me pop the blade out. You can see how the stop pin is hooked to these liners on both sides. And that creates tension pushing forward. And when the blade comes around, you can see right there, it snaps in place, and it snaps in with authority. This is probably the strongest, you could say double detent or locking slip joint I felt. It does have a lot of tension on it, so when you do break it, you can close it all the way, but you want to keep your fingers out of the way because it might not close all the way, but it might go like halfway like that because breaking that it's stiff, like I said. Even doing it like this, you can do it because you have a little bit more control with your thumb, but it's got a lot of pressure. So opening it up, you have the detent on the closed position. Then once you pop that detent, it's fairly smooth. You can feel this tension from the spring though. Then as it comes around, it snaps in place with authority. Very comfortable in the hand. Cryo D2 stone-washed blade. G10 scales. Deep carry clip that I believe, yes, it is reversible. Now, I'm not a big fan of the Sog on the clip. I don't like that. The choil, not a big fan of the sharpening choil, but this knife, to me, is a great knife for a lot of people because there's a lot of people out there that can't have locking knives. And there's a lot of people out there that travel. So, people that travel to place, they sometimes might not know the locations and the rules, but, whether or not they're allowed to carry locking knives. So having a slip joint is a great knife to have because it's usually okay to have in most places. And this is a good quality one. And so the price that they're saying, this is where it's a little bit I'll talk about it. So you have the tier 2, which is the total cost of $55 plus shipping and handling. But the total value is between $59 and $69. So you're not saving that much money here. I guess the beauty is that, and you guys can read this while I'm talking, I guess the beauty is that you get a surprise. So that is one beautiful thing that I get to experience. And I'm just being honest, I love it. I absolutely love, companies sometimes sending knives and I don't know what's coming. I have no idea what's going to be in the box sometimes. And so I get that random surprise and it is fun. It is cool, the unknown and what's in the box. And so I can see why somebody might want to sign up to something like this. To have that experience where it's just random knives. You don't know what you're going to get. Now, I personally don't know if everybody gets the same exact thing. Or if there's 5 knives and they're kind of just randomly pushed out to all the subscribers. I'm not positive, but regardless, this is tier 2. Now, the next one is the Onyx Collector's Plan, which they're saying this is Damascus Thunderbird folding knife, VG10 Damascus steel, and you can see all the details on that if you want to read it really quick. Now, we're going to come back here in 1 second and talk about this value and price and what I think. So, VG10 Damascus, and you can see it does have a core in the Damascus, titanium scales, titanium spring pocket clip, 1 standoff, and then you have the holes throughout the knife or the knife handle. Fantastic flipping action. It does flip very, very nicely. I have not oiled it or anything like that. It has a well-jimped, nice, comfortable flipper tab. You can light switch it or push button it. Access to the lock bar is okay. It's pretty decent. I can get to it pretty easily, and it's very smooth on the drop, but it's not like falls shut. You can see. Now, I haven't oiled it or anything, but it's still very smooth. I don't feel friction or anything like that, and that's nice because it is a Damascus blade. So, it does drop fairly nicely. Now, Ergonomically, you can see it's slim, so it's not going to be the most ergonomic, but you can get by with it, and you could definitely bear down on it without hitting hot spots or anything like that. The blade is very stout, though. This is not going to be a mega slicer by any means necessary. This is going to be a utility cutting knife, opening things up, scoring things like that, and then if you need to, you can possibly do a little bit of slicing with it. Couple negatives. One, I do not like the sharpening tool and plunge grind. They plunged the plunge grind right to the edge, which means that if I sharpen it, it will create a smile. Now, they did not put a stop pin in the way in the closed position, so I do have the ability to cut in my own sharpening tool if I want. The stop pin's all the way up there, so it's not in the way if I want to cut in my own sharpening tool. Now, the geometry is on the stouter side, so one of the downsides, it's not going to be a great slicer. The upside is it's going to be a little bit more durable for the utility cutting. So that's kind of an upper and downer. To me, it's more of a downer because, I like having nice thin cutting geometry. This one's a little bit on the more stouter side, but that doesn't mean it can't be a very useful knife, all the same. Now, let's talk about the value here and what I honestly think about this. I don't think this is worth their value, what they're saying. $169 to $179, no way, shape, or form. This thing is worth that. I would never pay that much, and I would never recommend somebody to pay this much for this knife. This is a $100 knife to me, give or take, maybe a little bit. Total cost is $120, so I could say, okay, it's titanium, VG10 Damascus. If the Damascus is done well, okay, I could see $120, but so I guess you're not losing, but I don't see this value here. Them trying to say that it's $169 to $179. Some of the knives I could recommend in this price range would far outbeat this knife as far as quality and everything goes. But not saying it's not a quality knife. I'm not saying that. I just think their estimation there is a little bit high. And yeah. Anyways, but it's still, a solid knife, and you can see the blade fits right inside the handle really nicely, which I do like, though. It looks pretty cool. Everything fits right inside there. I don't feel the edge or anything like that. And then you snap it out, you got a nice long utility cutting blade that has a nice mean look to it. It looks pretty cool. So, all in all, could I recommend signing up to this? I'm on the fence. I would say, yeah, if you do want to have that experience of getting monthly knives where you don't know what's coming, so that you can get that feeling of, randomness. But in many cases, a lot of people would say, if I'm not saving money, why wouldn't I just buy the knife outright, and then I can just pick what I want and have monthly knives coming? So that would be the argument, and you'd have to make that decision yourself. Total cost $55, the total value $59 to $69. You're not saving that much there. It is a cool knife. And then here, you're getting basically, in my opinion, not what they're saying, but what my opinion is, exactly what you're paying for. You're not saving any money. So, it's up to you guys. I'll link everything I can down in the description, and hopefully that, they continue sending these, and I can continue showing you guys these. And, this is only one package, guys. So maybe they'll get better in the future. Maybe they'll get worse. I don't know. We'll find out. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.